When you turn on the TV, it's Donald Trump is weaponizing the FBI. Donald Trump is weaponizing the DOJ. Donald Trump, they keep using the word over and over and over. And it's like they forgot the last, you could say the last 10 years, but certainly the last 4.
Yeah, absolutely. The New York Times had a big podcast / article just came out this morning about how the Trump administration is trying to go after Obama. You guys have got to absolutely be kidding me. I go through all the lawfare against President Trump from even before his post-presidency, but after January the 6th, the thing went into hyperdrive. These 6 cases, the 6 major cases against Trump, each one is more corrupt than you would imagine. Each one in coordination from Joe Biden's White House and, of course, the upper echelons of the DOJ. You've got all these political actors who ran on the promise of busting Trump, busting him for crimes he didn't commit, creating crimes out of whole cloth. And they got the nerve to act like Trump is doing anything improper. Trump needs to go after all of them. They're all part of the cabal. You know it, Jack, as well as anyone.
Well, and I remember being there, I think it was March of 23 when the very first indictment with Alvin Bragg. I always say this is the joke. They keep trying to say that there's something else, something other that we're going to be able to get to with President Trump. It's like this guy, I struggle and I fail to come up with any significant American figure who has been investigated as many times as Donald Trump.
It's not even close. This is one of the things that was a pattern of all the cases, is novel interpretations of the law. This is where you've got things, they're testing legal theories that have never been tried before. And they do this because maybe they'll work, but even if they don't work, they're going to tie him up, they're going to distract him, they're going to bankrupt him, and they're going to waste a bunch of his time when he's trying to campaign. And that was really what they had going, is that they were thinking we're going to embarrass Trump before a campaign. We're going to get him branded with things like rapist and convicted felon, both of which were completely bogus. And then maybe we'll get lucky and he'll end up in jail. Joe Biden's team specifically thought Trump would be in jail. But worst case scenario, we're going to make this guy's life a living hell. We're going to send a signal that no one should follow in his footsteps. Thus far, it's backfired, but no one's head is rolled yet. There needs to be widespread investigations. The Letitia James one has got to be just the beginning. The Jack Smith one, it's got to be just the beginning. We need at least a half a dozen, if not more. And people need perp walks and handcuffs, bottom line.
And this is something, I talked about this last year. You're coming in and really nailing it down this year as well with this book. People say, well, what about the norms? What about the norms? Here's what my worry is. And let me ask you what you think of my analysis here. Sure. My worry is, and I've said this to I've said this to the president, that if we don't act now in terms of trying to rebalance the scales, they're going to do it again.
That's the point. So the first portion of the book is trying to give people that context for what really happened in each of these 6 cases, that Trump, as a superhuman figure, was able to navigate, was able to beat many of them, and the ones he lost, he was able to save face. They're all on appeal anyway, and win an election from a courthouse instead of being able to be allowed to campaign the way you should. You learn stuff in the book like how he's still under gag order from Juan Merchan's court. He's still got $175 million in bond up for Letitia James's court with Arthur Engeron. Crazy stuff that's gone on. He's still appealing the cruel and unusual $90 million judgment in the completely bogus E. Jean Carroll case. So he has all these distractions that are out there. And I want people to be able to keep it straight because the investigations are going to come. And I want you all to be able to enjoy it. People in your audience, Jack, they should be able to enjoy when these investigations come down, and they will. So I think I help in that regard. But to your point, the last portion of the book is a warning that these guys are working right now. They're creating new initiatives to use lawfare. Project 65, founded by David Brock, the guy who founded Media Matters. You know what he's doing now? He's trying to get attorneys who represent Trump and people like you, Jack. They're trying to get them disbarred. It's not just, debanked or deplatformed or stuff that we knew about. They're trying to get it so you can't even work at all. It's not that you can't get some kind of great 7-figure white shoe law firm job. No, that you cannot practice at all, that you apply to trade, you learn to trade, and now you should have that taken away from you simply for trying to give good representation to MAGA people. That's the warning. That's what they're doing now, and they're going to try to rig elections with it too.
Right. So suddenly, you've got the lawfare. Then you've got a situation where you want to be able to defend yourself against the lawfare. You can't even find someone to represent you, and that's why they go after the Jeff Clarks and the John Eastmans and all the rest of it. And even Giuliani, who had his law license suspended, and again and again. And it's people. I almost think it's like when you put this book out, Breaking the Law. Let me ask you this way though, and we've been through so much. Are people receptive? Are they receptive to the idea that this has actually gotten as corrupt as it is?
Yeah, this is something, because this is my burden, is now I'm in the selling the book mode. And so there's a certain group of people who think we already won because Trump won. And that's not true. We won the battle. The war is still going on, and they're going to use lawfare to try to rig future elections, to try to make it so that our cities are even more chaotic and more lawless than they already are. And they're going to use this same playbook against Republicans who are not going to be as strong as Donald Trump was, and they're not going to be as rich as Donald Trump was. Donald Trump's wealth was a huge ace up his sleeve here. But the other group of people that I got to convince is not that we already won, is that nothing's going to happen. There's no investigations. No one ever gets held to account. And I want to speak to those people, and that's why I want to speak to lawmakers as well. You have got to get accountability here. Promises made, promises kept is essential to MAGA. Jack, you and I talked about this on my show at the Turning Point event a couple weeks ago. You have to have promises made, promises kept. And one of the promises that was made to this audience, the Jack Posobiec audience, the Alex Marlow Breitbart audience, and the Trump voter, is that we're going to hold the bad guys accountable. It's not enough just to write opinions about them. We now have to go investigate them and then go figure out the actual crimes they committed and hold them to account. It's got to start right now.